I think this might be the first time I've ever worked with Baltic birch. Lumberyard right here. Local lumberyard actually had the Baltic birch and about $70 some. But what are we doing? We are building a shelf for that out there. There's our new trailer. So we want to build a rack for that. My voice is probably a long ways away. We want to build a rack for the brake. Here's some of this blonde wood that Lowe's is selling now.
Yeah.
See that? It's garbage. I mean, it's not even flat. But here's some maple that Lowe's is selling. That
Maple
stuff's
looks
pretty.
better. Yeah.
That's really good stuff. Right here into the rack, as far as trying to lighten it, and I'll show you in our van what I'm talking about. I see a lot of guys build these trailers and outfit their inside of their vans, and they don't try to lighten it at all. They try. I mean, they do try to use lightweight materials, but that's one of the things that we are trying to stress on this trailer, that we're not carrying too much.
Yeah.
Because
as lightweight as possible.
Yeah. So we're gonna open this up, take a bunch of the weight off, and let's go over and show them the van. You see them cutouts?
Yep.
And that has not affected us at all. The main reason why we did those cutouts was so that way we had access behind that shelf. But there's actually a lot of weight there that's been taken off this rack. So then we use, I've already done the faces over here. That's the front of the cabinet, because we want these to work as storage also. We don't want this, want a brake just sitting up there doing nothing. We want to be able to use them. So it's real important, if I forget to show, it's real important when we used a Fastener bit over here. So to do these right here, but it's really important that you put a piece of sheet good underneath this thing and push down hard, that way to stop from blowout. And it will blow out. I mean, what's the difference between birch and Baltic birch, or are they the same, or what?
Well,
I don't know. See, there's a lot of weight there.
Is it from the Baltics? I don't know.
There's a lot of weight there. You combine that with, well, there's going to be a couple of these.
How much is that? Yeah, I think it's that 20 or 25 pounds, like what we're saying. That
two Martinez hammers there. So Harley, I asked him. He was curious, so he looked up Baltic birch, where it came from, and he was correct.
Where it still
Baltic.
comes from.
So, yeah. The other areas other than Baltic, would you say Finland, Russia?
Yep.
And what else? Others?
Lithuania.
I wonder if that's the same as a northern, like a birch that is here in the States, that you'd get, you know, with the white bark and all that. So that's what I thought this was.
One thing that was weird is when I was sanding another face of this, the other pieces, the layers are very thin. Like
The actual
we had,
birch?
yeah,
it's super
we had
thin.
area where it chipped out, and I was able to sand through
Super
like a
thin.
micro layer,
super thin.
and it didn't chip or anything. I was surprised by that, because there's a lot of the plywoods have been around.
I'm going to show you another thing
Once
too.
you get into that other layer, normally it starts to chip the worse you sand it. Or the more you sand it, the worse it gets.
Plywood sands horrible on its edge. And I've noticed just sanding this stuff right here,
Yeah.
the ribs or whatever, I can take down really quick with a sander. That kind of surprised me how quick that sands down. Okay, so we're routing here, and y'all know that if you're routing on the outside, you go counterclockwise. And if you route on the inside, you go clockwise. You know, Porter cable, and I was just thinking about, I should do a video on this router. The whole kit. And I just threw the hard case, but this is a really phenomenal router. If guys can find a used one, because I don't think they sell that anymore, but this is a really good router. Now this is kind of heavy back here, the T. Very precise though. Good router. If Porter Cable made stuff like this, they'd be dominating the market. But alright, so Harley's over there clamping it up. I got the end in, but so we did do those small little rabbets. And I got to slide this piece in right here, but this is the front portion. That's the back, and this is the top. Now, some of you aren't going to dig that right there because you're going to use that for storage, but for us, since a brake is sitting up there, all that's going to be is a catch-all. It's just we're going to try to store stuff on top of that brake, and what's the point? But this will work really well for whatever we're carrying, because we've done this with similar racks and it's worked out pretty excellent. But so when I slide this piece of birch in, Baltic birch, it comes up and we got that nice positive stop right there using the Gorilla Glue with some 1 5/8 screws. I did run out. I got some grip rates coming. I forget what this company's called. I bought Black Hawk or Blue Eagle or something, some weird name. I bought it in bulk. I mean, like several thousand pieces, but I was just short, and I am really bad about being OCD or whatever about screws matching. That's just the way I am. Gotta have the same screws. You probably don't think it matters taking that piece out and that piece right there. I probably could have even done a small piece right here in the end, but I'm really worried actually about the strength here, because we're gonna have a couple tie downs coming right here. So hopefully I didn't make you sick right there. All right, one thing Harley did when we were clamping it up originally, that was pretty cool, is he had this clamped in there, like so, and then we had another clamp down there, so that worked pretty well, just to get us going. So, all right, okay. So there's one, and yes, I know I'm gonna have several people that look at this and they say, "Ah, that's stupid. That's stupid. Why'd you put a hole in the top?" Yeah, clutter, as Harley says, clutter. To make sure stuff doesn't get stacked up on top of the brake. And that way, when we go to use the brake, it can be used. When you know yourself, you know yourself. And anything horizontal, and I think that's the majority of the people, they will stack something. So, now we do have to secure these down, but let's hold the brake in.
Let's do it.
What's in here, we got to do a little bit more tweaking, get it in the right place, so we'll figure that out here shortly. So I got a lot I want to talk about in this trailer, because we've owned a couple of these, and this is the first one 7 feet high. I'm going to tell you two different things that I think that are important, whether or not you want them or not. So I am just basically right at 6 or just a hair under. Oh my goodness, there's a ton underneath. So I have not measured in here. I don't know if they come up with the height from inside or down. I was always fine with the 6'6" height, but the one area that did bother me is right here. I always, every once in a while, I'd clip my head on there, and right here on the 6'6", because this is lower. Now, if you're ordering a trailer, make sure you let them know that you want bigger doors. And they were going to build this trailer, and I don't know if I said this is a Legend, 7x17, all aluminum, 8,000 pound axles. Either way, I wanted this, I wanted the wide door, and I wanted it taller. Since I'm going 7 foot, I wanted a big door, especially so you can carry things through there. Nice big opening. Okay. All aluminum. We did upgrade to 16 on center, and this has a ladder rack. It has a full roof rack with walkway, and it has a ladder rack to get up on there. I don't understand why somebody would buy a ladder rack and no means to get up on there, but it's an expensive trailer, so it all adds up. Now, a couple things I want to make you aware of with the trailer, and we'll get back to how I got these boxes set up, is when I upgraded to 8,000 pound axles, I did not realize the trailer was going to stand taller. This trailer, just the entire trailer sets higher due to the tires being bigger overall, and apparently the 8,000 pound axles just set higher. Now we've already got almost used to it, but it was kind of annoying at first. But it's what it is. Something to think about. Going from 3,500 pound axles up to the 8,000. Now, concerning the ride, this has Dexter, and it says that Legend has their name right on the axles when I saw it down there. They ride pretty well. I was pretty impressed with how this trailer, being all aluminum, and what does it weigh? 2,500 pounds, our configuration. So why have we decided to set a trailer up this way with boxes that can be moved? We originally were going to keep more than one enclosed trailer. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, we were going to have multiple ones, but you know, I'm trying to practice almost lean the way I was taught when I was in manufacturing a little bit. Lean manufacturing, we're doing it pretty well as far as bringing that over to construction side, trying to lean ourselves out on tools, what we actually need to do an efficient, very craftsman-like type of job. I feel like the way we live in today's society, it's almost like more. Well, the thing is, more steals more of your life. And it's more taxes you have to pay. It's more things you have to maintain. It's more space you have to store that. It's more things you have to worry about getting stolen. It's more things you have to worry about getting beat up through storms. And what's with all the hail? Is that all the cloud seeding they're doing? Man, we get hail like almost every other week. But either way, I digress. It does seem a little ridiculous, like you can't own anything nice. All right, so we got these cabinets to where they can be unhooked. And here's my philosophy. We're a remodeler, builder, but I want a trailer that can be easily tore apart if we're hauling something big. Yes, we get a lot of stuff delivered to the job, but we do deliver a lot of things. Take a lot of cabinets to jobs. We can easily pull this brake out now. With the way I set this up, we got 4 straps. 1, 2, and we angled the strap back a little bit. Of course, I pinned them because I put the anchors in yesterday. We got them on a little bit of an angle to where it's constantly wanting to pull that box back into that corner. Now, we have done this. We've done thousands of miles with this setup. This was in our previous trailer. This plywood rack was in another trailer. So this has been tested, and the straps work quite well. we can have the brake and these cabinets, and for that matter, all these pulled out within, I don't know what's realistic. It'd probably take an hour, but I don't look at it that way. For us, let's say we're doing a kitchen or something of that nature to where we need this side cleared. We got 4 straps, 2 bolts, and a couple bolts up there. And with the way I've done it, I've done 2 smaller boxes to where those can easily be stored somewhere. So whether you're taking them into a garage, a storage unit, or whatever you're doing. If you got a shop, you can easily take that in. If you still got the stand for this, just throw it up on a stand. And I mean, we originally developed this to where if we did want to pull it out of here, take it around the back of the house or whatever and set it up to where we're working outside, we can still do that. That's why we set this up. Now, I had the aluminum already bent, but I had Harley cut some a rubber hose there that he split in half, and it's bolted down there, so that should hold it there pretty decent. We drilled a couple holes, went straight through the frame of the brake right there. We got full clearance here. Guess you could hit right there. I don't know. Oh, as far as the slicer, now we got the trim coil feed, which I'm going to sell mine, and the slicer because I got, what's this company right here? Innovation. I always forget their name. Come on. Whatever. I love their stuff. We got these. We got those right there. These things are awesome. So that way but either way, they got a trim coil cutter with guillotine, and that's going to be going down there and being mounted down there on the floor. So I'll be able to pull the trim coil down through there. And what I may do, I think I'm gonna take a piece of like a real small piece of 1x. Actually, I got kind of this idea that I think is going to work out to where I'm going to be able to hold that trim coil going down through there. Pretty excellent. But the guillotine is going to go right here, and either way, I'm going to have to do a separate video of all the new Innovo tools or whatever. And I'm still rocking the Tapco till I eventually break down and buy one of their brakes. They look pretty excellent. We got this. And so I just cut a hole right there to access it. It works out pretty well. Now this trailer, they have deleted the roof vents, which the roof vents are horrendous. Don't ever buy a trailer with a roof vent. Make sure, hold on here, you get these. That's for scooping air going down the road. This is if you want it going backwards. So those are much better. Now they're not going to vent as well as a roof vent, but the roof vents, since everything comes from China and everything is so poorly made, you're only going to get a couple years out of things. All right, this side here. Now you guys aren't going to end up dealing with this, but if you do, it's just an idea. We just had to cut a groove going down through there to allow us to strap it. And it worked out pretty well. All right, so this definitely is not a Ron Polk's type of trailer because he'd be carrying the entire garage. But we have all our battery powered tools and all that's in our van. So none of those tools are coming in here. So we even have our miter saw. We carry all that in our vehicles. So for small jobs or whatever, that way this trailer doesn't have to be a lot of times even at a job. If the materials are being hauled to the job and we don't need this or need different things, we can just grab a few things when we're at the shop or whatever and just go. We don't need to constantly be worried about hauling this. I don't want to haul a trailer every day. I don't. So that's one of the reasons why this is kitted out the way it is. It's more for, a good way is minor storage, but it's for getting you out of a position hauling big things. Brake, cabinets, anything odd and unusual. That's what this trailer's for. So, like I said, we carry all of our main tools in our vans, so that's the way we roll. All right, see ya.